Hey, everybody, in this episode of the GH Report, it is 2020, and we are back to break down a whole new year of GH shenanigans. What happened while we were gone? Well, we're going to tell you next.
I'm Maria Menounos, and you're tuned in to AfterBuzz TV, the ESPN of TV talk. Now, let the buzz
It's a GH Report. Porta getting on fire. Watch out. Ava about to take a dip off the cliff. That was like in the hand of that note. Welcome, everybody. That was, I really hit that one.
Tuning fork.
Welcome ready to the GH Report. It's 2020, everybody. We're here with a whole new year.
Happy New Year, everybody.
Look at that. Breaking down all the craziness that's happening on Port Charles on a daily basis. I'm Frank Moran.
I'm Carla Renata.
And as always, folks, like us on Facebook, give us those 5 stars on iTunes, subscribe to the YouTube channel. And you know what? The chat is up and running, so if you want to just jump in and share your thoughts, congratulate Carla on her sweet new Coach Star Wars bag. I mean, you don't just get that. That's some high quality stuff.
Yeah, you do. You just walk into a Coach. You walk into a Coach outlet and you buy one like
you
I
dropped
did.
that black Amex right there and said, "Boom! This means nothing to me. Give me it."
It was on Christmas sale. Anyway, shout out to the chat room: Joe Costanzo, Ron Wood, Mary, not Ron Wood, Rue Wood. Sorry, Rue. Mary, Annie Goen. What's up, girl? Cherie R, Lisa Wagner, DT Door, Brandy Joy 1, Loretta Johnson, Donnie Eubanks, Coco Candy 1. Hey, y'all, hey.
There we go. Yes. Look at that, folks. We're going to break down what we've missed over this
and there's
holiday
Marlon
break.
Wallace. Sorry. Hey, Marlon.
Last but certainly not least at all. And we'll also do a little news and gossip to round out the end of the show. But Carla, it has been a little while since we've seen each other.
I know. It has been a minute. I was, right before the holidays hit, I had gone to New York to do a junket. And I think I was on the plane.
Yes.
I was on a plane trying to talk on the plane. Like, okay, let me just talk about that. I was actually surprised. I was like, I wonder if I could call Frank from the plane. And then, like, we were in the air. And I called and you picked up the phone. I was like,
there you
like
go.
buckwheat. I was like,
Oh.
I was like, I'm like, I can't talk, but okay, click.
But you were all in that chat. Everybody loved it.
I was all up in that chat room, but I was like, I couldn't leave y'all hanging. I had to, come hang with the homies.
There you go.
I had to roll with the homies.
So while we've been away, I mean, GH has still been playing, according to a little bit of holiday breaks.
It has.
What have you thought of what we've seen during our time away?
It was a little slow up until like the last couple of days of this past week with that one little reveal that we'll get into a little later. But man, I was living for that. My mouth dropped in my crack when I saw that. I was like, oh no. I was screaming at the TV set. I'm like, no. It was fan-frickin-tabulous. I loved it. Loved it. But I'm still kind of wondering how it's all going to pan out now.
You know, I mean, we talked a little bit about Ava and Nina joining forces to get those Cassadine boys back.
Mm-hmm.
What have you thought of their team up so far? And do you feel like it's like, oh yeah, they're really sticking it to them?
No, I don't feel like they're really sticking it to him. I feel like Ava thinks she is. but it's not really. Like, I'm not all that. I was excited about their alliance, but then it never really did anything. So I'm kind of like, okay, well, that kind of fell flat. It wasn't as exciting as... I thought pairing them up was going to be like when they paired up Diane with Alexis.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? I thought it was going to be that kind of dynamic happening. And that's not what went down. Speaking of Diane, I ran into Carolyn Hennessy.
Very nice.
I ran Carolyn Hennessy, and I have the same voiceover agent. And I ran into her at the Christmas party.
That's fantastic.
It was hilarious. She said she'll come back over here and talk to us. So.
I would love it. You know, I mean, I'm bummed that I missed out on the VO Christmas party again. I mean, you took me there to last year's your +1.
I did. I took somebody else this time.
See? Look at this. Already,
I did.
My stock is dropping with Carla Renata.
I tried to hook up somebody else. I was trying to spread the wealth around, you know.
Well, it would be great to have Carolyn back here. I mean, she's going to beat Maurice Bernard for sure.
Actually, she said she would help me with that.
Get out of here.
I swear to you, she did. She's like, I said, yeah, I do this. I said, you've been on the General Hospital Report, whatever. You've done it before. I've interviewed you on the show. You sat next to me. We took a picture. She's like, really? I'm like, Miss Thing, yes. And so then she said, so I said, I have the hardest time booking people from the show. Like, I just have a hard time. I don't even know what the explanation is for that. And she said, well, who exactly are you who are your wish list of people? And I told her, with, of course, Maurice Bernard being at the top of the list. And she said, oh, maybe I can help you with that. I'm like, girl, don't play. Don't play.
She's playing.
She's not.
We're
She
not.
not.
No.
But then I forget who it was. I think it might have been, and I'm probably wrong when I say this, but somebody that's always in the chat room, they went on the attack for Maurice Bernard on Twitter, and they were like, why won't you go see my girl at the GH report?
Yeeks.
And he all he did was he responded with a name. He just responded with a name and an email address, I think it was. I was like, ooh. Again, I had like the, buckwheat face. Well, somebody said you all need Steve Burton and Branford Anderson on. That would be great if they would come. But I know Steve Burton has all them kids.
So he can't
and
come
a wife.
in?
Well, when you got kids and a wife and stuff, sometimes Sunday nights is a little difficult because this is dinner time. This is time they're trying to put the kids down. It might and he's always on GH, so his call time the next day is like 6 a.m., which means he got to get up at 3.
It's 40 minutes of his day. Carla.
Look. I'm not arguing with you. I'm just saying that, it might be a little difficult.
And dare I say probably the 40 most entertaining moments of his day.
Of course it is, because it's you and me doing it.
There
I'm
you
just
go.
saying. But yeah, we'll see. We'll see. If that actually happens in 2020, I think, I'm going to put this out there. If Maurice Bernard actually shows his face at the GH report at AfterBuzz TV in 2020,
mm-hmm.
I might have to chug a beer or something. I might have to do something a little daring. I'm not running down the street naked because it's too cold for all of that. And ain't nobody trying to see all this. But I might have to chug a beer or something. I might have to do something daring. I might have to come up with something better than chugging a beer. Y'all can help me in the chat room and find out something better that I could come up with. But I'm going to do something daring if he actually shows up here. Maybe I'll do a man on the street outside the studio or something. I don't know. It'll be something daring, something that is so outside of my comfort zone that it'll make my skin crawl.
Ooh, all right. I'm excited to hear what...
Which chugging a beer is actually that, because I don't like beer.
Oh, so if you had to just drink it, but you would drink a beer.
I will drink a beer, but I'm not trying to chug no beer. I'm not trying to, I wouldn't chug a beer. I wouldn't be that person going to Coney Island trying to shove hot dogs down my face. I'm just not that person.
So do you want to do you want to beer bong it? Where we give you the funnel and the tube, or do you want to just snap the can and just poke the bottom and
clearly you have experience with these types of shenanigans because you're being very graphic.
I've seen plenty of college movies.
Oh my God, dude, please! You were speaking like that was firsthand experience.
I think I've done a beer bong once in my life. I'm not a beer drinker myself, but I've never done the shotgunning a beer where you poke the hole and you pop the tab.
Yeah, about as daring as I've gotten is I put an orange slice in some Blue Moon. That was about it.
All right.
That's as exciting as I get.
There we go. Maybe this time it'll be a lime
Ooh,
slice.
no. Somebody said give Frank a big wet kiss. Yeah, he ain't trying to have that. And then they laughed at me. They told me I wasn't right. Tattoos, yeah, that's not happening. Ain't no tattoos happening nowhere around here. I'm needle phobic. No,
really?
Nope. Oh, hell no. No. I interviewed Olivia Wilde for Booksmart, and I asked her what was the most daring thing she ever did in high school, and she said that she got this really bad tattoo that she called Earth, Wind, and Fire and had me cracking up. It was pure comedy. She said, so I'm telling everybody to join my bad tattoo club. She's like, you got to get a bad tattoo. I'm like, yeah, diva, no. I will never get a tattoo. Ain't nobody putting no needle. Just like I will... People talk about how black don't crack in terms of aging. I will be the last of the California raisins because there's not a needle known to man that's coming anywhere near this face. No. I will have crow's feet and wrinkles down to my belly button, but I ain't no needles coming over here. Nope.
I mean, what about a nice Superstore logo back tat?
Oh, no. No? If it's a tattoo that you press on, I could do that.
All right.
I could do a henna tattoo or something like that. But if it's involving needles, it's not happening.
Well, folks, keep posting away in the chat about what you think Carla should do. But as we steer back to the excitement that happened in GH, PC, Port Charles. So one of the biggest things, of course, is when is Nicholas going to reveal himself to anybody that is not Sonny or not Carly and Jax? And finally, we get to see by the end of this week, he finally does his big revelation.
That was kind of fabulous how he revealed himself, though. But he revealed himself with Ava. I can't wait for that conversation to pop off. I cannot wait. Because, you know, she going to have a mouthful to say, especially to Valentine. She just going to go in. I can't wait.
You know, it was interesting, though, that, so, of course, it's the big wedding of Nina and Valentine. And Ava goes there because she, of course, her and Nina have been working together. And so she wants to see it all blow up in Valentine's face. Martin, Valentine's lawyer, says, hey, come on up to the balcony. After Valentine's instructs him to do so. Once Ava gets up there and realizes it's just her and Valentine, knowing that she sat there and watched him kill Nicholas in front of her, or at least attempted to shot him, point blank, and as he fell out of there, she has very little regard for like, oh no, it's gonna be, I'm fine, I'm not gonna help you. You're never gonna get this. I would be a little bit more cautious, being out there on a balcony overlooking water.
First of all, the fact that she let is his name Martin Gray? The fact that she let Martin Gray lead her up there in the first place was like, I thought you was a smarter cookie than that. Really? You gonna have him take you up to the and then once you get up there and turn around and here comes Valentine talking about, yeah, he's afraid of heights. Like, Diva, you didn't see that coming? Like, I saw that coming from a mile away, and I'm not you. Like, I was like, this is about to go really wrong. But what I was hoping happened in that situation was it was so serendipitous that Charlotte showed up after Ava was already pushed over. But I wish she had showed up just a few seconds earlier to actually see him do it.
Yeah, because
I really wanted her to see him do that.
It was interesting because when she goes with Valentine to walk past there, she takes a second.
She peeps over and he snatches her like, what you looking at? Yeah, I really wanted her to see that. Because I think if she had seen that, it would have created a whole different dynamic between between Valentine, Nina, and Charlotte. Because now Charlotte, as a little girl, will see why people are hating on her papa, right? Yeah. She would see why people are hating on her papa, and then he would have to deal with the fallout of her possibly hating him, which would break him to his core. And then what would he do if that happened?
It is interesting, and I want to know what you thought, Carla, is because we see Jax taking some time to talk to Nina and saying,
yeah, that was a nice scene.
I did like that, where you're marrying somebody you don't love or you can't trust and you're stuck in this marriage, or you're going to say no and you're going to break Charlotte's heart. Mm-hmm. So the only option is just to walk away right now before you do anything else. Mm-hmm. And she doesn't. What would you do? Would you just follow Jackson's advice?
I probably would have followed Jackson's advice because little kids are so impressionable. Like, they're very amenable in a lot of ways, but when it comes to that kind of stuff, they're very impressionable, and that kind of hurt, that kind of sting has lasting effects into adulthood, and even into adolescence. So at the end of the day, as much as Nina despises Valentine and loathes him for what he's done, the last person she wants to hurt is that little girl, mostly because she now realizes that she doesn't have a daughter of her own. I think it would have been easier for her to do it had she still thought Sasha was her daughter. You know what I mean? Because she would have been like, yeah, that's your mess to deal with. I ain't got nothing to do with that. I got Sasha over here. But now she doesn't even have Sasha. So the closest thing she'll ever have to a daughter at this point will be Charlotte, is a little girl, right? And I think the thought of her kind of putting her out there like that, that's just too much for her to bear. Like, even Nina isn't that heartless.
I wonder if you've seen the little trailers that we saw for Monday's episode, where we can basically see, it's Nina, you probably yelling at Valentine like that. This isn't going to happen anymore. If she's using the fact that, as we saw, Nicholas at the end of the episode comes in with Ava, they're soaking wet. He's rescued her from the waters outside of Spoon Island. if she's going to use that, because I'm sure Ava's going to say, he pushed me over the side.
I'm waiting.
Yeah.
Because she's got, or maybe she won't remember.
Oh,
If she hit the ground or she hit something, she probably hit her head. She's probably not going to remember. But I'm like, why was Nicholas lurking around down there? That's what I want to know.
Yeah.
Like, how did he just miraculously happen to find her and then scoop her up and bring her up just in time for the vows? Like, you know.
Yeah, I know.
Like,
Look at him go.
that in itself was just pure comedy. I was like, really though? You just scooped her up just in time for the vows? Get out of here. And then I loved how the whole thing leading up to that moment was everybody, you know, in various corners or various different locales talking about how they weren't happy about this union or happy about this wedding and that nobody wanted to go. And the one person I felt the most sorry for was Liesl.
Mm-hmm.
Because out of all of that, it feels like Liesl has the most to lose, other than Nina losing Charlotte or Valentine losing Charlotte. Liesl has the most to lose. You know, she doesn't have Nathan. Nina's all she's got. So it's a very complicated situation with that family.
I mean, she still does have her grandson, you know.
Yeah, but she's not really trying to deal with that grandson. You don't ever hear her talking about that grandson. You don't. She is all about Nina. And all up in, you know, Windermere all the time.
I did like that scene between her, Liesl and Nina earlier during our break, where Nina was like, tell me what's up, because I know that he didn't do this by himself. Mm-hmm. And having Liesl have to come clean about what she was involved with.
Yeah. I love that actress. She's so good. I wish we could get her. I'd really love to talk to her. But yeah, I just feel like that whole situation, that's a situation and a storyline that I don't think I'll ever get tired of, because there's always some shenanigan lurking around the corner. And tell me this, I don't quite remember if they revealed this or not. Did they ever reveal who was sending out those invitations to Shiloh's wake?
Not yet.
I'm like, did I miss that? And I just forgot. I didn't think I did, but I was like, ooh, did I miss that? I'm like, do you think it's that the trainer chick?
Oh, God, no, she's dead.
Oh, well, no, then it couldn't be her.
Yeah, from the grave. Before he died.
She's coming back from the grave. That's right. She died in that car crash. I forgot.
As we're wrapping up about the wedding, what I did like is when Nicholas comes into the room, we see everybody look at Nicholas and then kind of turn around and look at Valentine. The one thing I liked was Donnell Turner. His reaction was just sort of like,
he was like, I told you. Yeah, he was just looking like, I told y'all. He was like, I am so not surprised. Speaking of Donnell Turner, I love that they had Black Santa. That was hilarious. I was like, but it was funny because at first, I don't know if it was the lighting or what. I was like, is that a Black Santa? Or is that just somebody that's real light-skinned in it? I couldn't tell. I couldn't tell if it was somebody white under there, somebody black. I was like, ooh, they really fixed that lighting for that particular situation.
Yeah. It was interesting because they aired the episodes out of sequence this week, or that week, Christmas week.
They did. It was weird. Like, they aired, yeah, that was weird. And somebody said something to us about that on Twitter. I think it was, who said something about it? I think was it Kelly? It was Annie. Annie who's gone, she's out of the chat room now. But she said something about, she's like, did you see that? I was like, yeah, I saw it.
I mean, they did one of my least favorite things is where they did a story within a story, so everybody gets a chance to play different characters, and they did a Christmas Carol within it.
Yeah, I love the whole Christmas Carol thing where Finn was like Scrooge. And speaking of which, when they did the Christmas Carol situation, they brought back my girl Jane Elliott playing Tracy Quartermaine. I was so excited to see her back.
It's the one thing at least I liked is it wasn't a full episode. When I saw the tease for it, I was like, oh no, it's going to be a whole episode of the Christmas Carol.
No.
I was like, ugh. Thank goodness they at least they teased in some present day stuff.
And that little girl that plays Violet, I say this every time I talk about her. She's just adorbs. She's like the cutest thing ever.
Yeah.
With her little lisp. She's so cute. She is just adorable. And the cast seems to really love her. Like they hug and kiss on her like that really is their kid. Yeah. She must be a wonderful child to work with.
I would agree. Yeah, because anytime I get to see her and Robert together, I'm like, all right, yeah. I'm done
And
with that.
you see how their faces just kind of light up whenever they're dealing with her.
Mm-hmm.
I can't say the same for some of them other kids they be dealing with. I'm just saying. I ain't gonna call no names.
But yeah, I mean, but you mentioned though Tracy Elliott coming back,
Mm-hmm.
or Tracy Quartermaine, Jan Elliott coming back. It is nice to have her back in there.
It was so awesome to have her back. I love, because she didn't skip a beat. She just walked right in and did her thing. And I love those scenes between her and Brooklyn.
Those scenes between her and Brooklyn, scenes between her and Monica, scenes between her and Finn. It was nice to see that relationship touched on. I was
Yes.
like, yes, that's great. But that will bring me to, as we continue to talk about Tracy back in the mix, what was supposed to be her first scene before the episodes got shown out of order was her returning to the Quartermaine Mansion.
Right, in the house, in the foyer and stuff being redecorated.
Which
I'm like, when did that happen?
So they put the whole, it's like they moved the door on the whole other side of the foyer.
I was like, what's happening?
Because that was a super fast renovation.
That was, okay.
Yeah.
I was like, did I miss something? Because the last time I saw that house, it looked the same.
Yeah. I mean, it was in December that we saw, with Brooklyn coming back and stuff, we saw scenes taking place in the old school Quartermaine.
Exactly. I was like, ooh, they got brand new floors and everything. I'm like, ooh, okay.
Like that, there's no way, as rich as the Quartermaine family is, there's no way you're turning around a renovation like that.
You're absolutely right. You're absolutely right. But what made me laugh was when Tracy tried to squabble about it. Monica's like, this is still my house. I'm like, she gonna ride that horse until it's dead.
Of course.
I love her for that.
But what do you think of the Quartermaine remodel?
It's okay. It's, now it looks like Sonny's house. And what it looks like Sonny's kitchen is what it looks like.
I mean, I'm down to see a set freshened up for sure, but it still seems a little like too cold.
It's like, I'm sure they'll change it.
Yeah.
I'm sure that's not how it's gonna end. I wanted to say, I wanted to talk about the whole Dev and Joss and that situation. I'm so over that. I'm over it.
Are you liking the romantic tension brewing between Dev and Jocelyn?
I don't care. I don't. I would rather see Joss with Cameron.
A side note on Cameron for one hot second is that he was Donnell Turner's elf, or at least, assistant.
He was. That was funny. And just disgruntled.
That got annoying.
He was a disgruntled elf.
Like, dude, this is your last thing of community service. You could be out picking up garbage. All you have to do is just wear this Christmas tie for how many hours?
Attitude. He was so not happy. It was so funny.
That's a cush gig.
He was so not happy. But I think, don't you think his unhappiness stemmed in the fact that he didn't really want to go home and deal with the whole Franco, Drew situation?
Well, I mean, Franco's, it's all sorted out.
Franco's
for him now.
back, yeah. But and then there was that moment. Speaking of which, there was that moment where Elizabeth had to tell him about Drew, and then that moment where she sat there and she said, "I'm looking." She says, "You." This is when something busted is about to be said. When she goes, "You ever have that feeling that you're thinking one thing and you should be feeling another way than what you're thinking," or something along those lines that she said. And he was looking at her like, "What special brand of crack have you been smoking since I've been away?" And then she says, I still feel some kind of way about you sleeping with Kim. And then he was like, "I would never." But you did.
Yeah, but it wasn't him.
It wasn't his personality, but it was his body. Like, let's be clear.
Yeah, but he didn't have any control over that.
Yeah, okay.
Wow.
I'm just saying. I'm kind of with Liz on that one. And I'm never with Liz on anything, but I'm with her on that one. I'm like,
I will say that Franco goes and gets the process, or Drew does, to restore Franco's memories. And Franco comes out of his recovery, and it's Franco. Mm-hmm. I gotta admit, having him back, I'm like, I didn't miss him.
I think that the anticipation of getting him back under the circumstances of which he left was more exciting than him actually coming back.
I mean, just having him back and being just like, I would never, like the little neuroses of Franco. I'm like, no.
I'm like, I don't know. I'm kind of conflicted on that situation.
I'm hoping it because the procedure was interrupted by that assassin, that it is not going to be as cut and dry as that Franco is just perfectly back as Franco.
No. Speaking of assassins, so then we have Anna that gets that tidbit of info because it's really bothering her that every time she rolls up on Peter is hunched over on a phone call. Oof. Or whispering or just looks like he's up to no good. And it's not sitting well with her. And now she understands why it's not sitting well with her because there's some shenanigans going on and he's right in the middle of it. And she knows it. And then Finn is like, do you really want to go there, though? Do you really want to, be all up in that? Or do you want to just let him, make his bed and lie in it? And she's like, but I'm his mother. I'm like, yeah, I'm about tired of listening to her cry that tune, too.
But, I enjoyed those scenes between Finn and Anna and even to a similar extent, Carly and Sonny, where you can have arguments and disagreements, different points of view, but it's not like, well, then I guess we're done.
Yeah, I love the fact that I agree with you. I love the fact that when they did have those conversations, they weren't yelling and screaming at each other. It was a conversation that was intelligently hashed out with everybody's feelings, cards laid out on the table, and everybody was being honest about how they felt, whether they liked it or not, right? Especially with Carly and Sonny, because they usually have shouting matches. Like Very their true. Stuff is usually, and so this was nice to see them just have a conversation about it. And this is the thing I'm loving about what they're doing with Sonny Corinthos on General Hospital. They are making Sonny Corinthos mellow out in age the same way Maurice Bernard is mellowing out in age. You know what I mean? Because for a minute, they were still trying to hold Sonny Corinthos to a different standard in the show in terms of aging, right? You never see him with gray temples. His hair is always jet black. I'm like, we know Brother Man got some salt and pepper happening up in there somewhere. And then again, he might not. There's some people that never go gray. Like, I'm going to say this, and I'm probably going to go to hell. So I saw Eddie Murphy on some show doing an interview on his awards tour thing. And he was saying that his hair doesn't turn gray. He said he gets gray in his mustache and on his mustache and someplace else, he said, on his face. But he doesn't get it in his hair. And I know there are some men that are like that. They just don't go gray for a really, really, really long time. And then there's other people like my daddy who went gray when he turned 30 and was coloring his hair with Miss Clairol and was telling me that and when I would peep the gray, I'm like, Daddy, what's that gray stuff in your hair? He's like, oh, I spilled some paint. I'm like, good. I'm like, Daddy, you've been spilling paint in your hair for 30 years? What's up with that?
I'm very clumsy. I am extremely, extremely clumsy.
But I say all that to say that I like how they're melding them into the same. Like, there's a little bit of Maurice, there's a little bit of Sonny happening within the same person, making the character a little more richer and a little more layered than he had been before.
It's, but he still has that blind spot with Jax. Like, that is, so when he finds out
that's understandable though, because that's understandable because he's a dude, and this is the dude that was involved with the person that you're married to, like, and had a kid with them. Like, it's one thing. It would have been one thing if she had bopped Jax and they didn't have any children, but she bopped Jax, and now they have Joss, and Joss lives under that roof with him. So there's a whole different, like, I get it. There's a whole different dynamic happening there for him, and he's salty, and I get it, but at some point you gotta get over that. Like, she married you. She stayed married to you. She actually remarried you. So what's your problem?
Yeah, it's because as soon as Sonny finds out that, like, oh wait, Jax was helping a wanted fugitive.
He knew, why did you tell him and you didn't tell me? Why did you feel like you couldn't confide in me? And she was like, because of this conversation right here, that's why.
Yeah, and we're just like, he's gonna be in a lot of trouble. It's like, no. You already, if you boot him again. I mean, Jocelyn took months, which that was the longest time in my life for her to get over that.
Right.
With Sonny. So I can't imagine him doing it a second time. Get out of here. Like,
no,
Jocelyn, no way would be like, I understand.
So this has nothing to do with what we're talking about right now, but I'm just thinking about the kids. I have burning questions. One is, where are Trina's parents?
Mm-hmm. I think many people have that burning question.
2 is, when was the last time we saw Donna? When was the last time we saw Avery? Like, are these kids going to come back
They're always sleepy. They're
Look,
always sleepy.
They're always sleeping. They're always taking a nap.
Yep.
Are they going to come back, Donna and Avery, I'm talking about, are they going to come back and be like teenagers?
Well, because
Are they going to do the soap opera aging trick on them, you think?
Because I feel like Scout is a year or two older than she should be.
Yeah, she is. She's awfully cute, though. That's
Yeah.
another one that's really cute. Okay, can we just, I know you hate Jason and Sam.
Oh.
I know you hate Jason
Yep,
and
go
Sam.
for it.
But can we just talk about that moment where she came home for Christmas and they didn't think she was going to? Because I was really not looking forward. Ouch. This is itching. I was really not looking forward to her having a altercation with Nell in that prison cell. I wasn't looking forward to that.
I thought that was
That happened very fast, though.
Yes.
I was like, that's kind of quick. Like, they just took her out and brought her home? Okay.
Yeah, I mean, it was super fast from Jason talking to Ned, saying, oh, do you have any recommendations or suggestions? Can you talk to anybody? To Ned saying, I can't do that. I mean, I can't twist anybody's arms. I
remember
just
that.
plead
To all of a
case.
sudden, she's out.
Yeah.
And then they're having that conversation on the phone going, oh, do you think you could come over? No, I'm going to spend time. Oh, okay. Well, I'm glad I can help out. He was like, thanks, by the way. I'm like, did I miss something? Because I was like, is there a step that happened that I was not privy to? I don't understand.
Yeah, that went by so fast. And so that when Jason surprised his family, surprised the heck out of me that it's like, oh, no, you know what? Sam's out now. Like, what?
Yeah, but this is the thing that made it kind of like romp romp. So they did that, and then they turned around and they had the parole officer. Now, I don't know any parole officer that's going to pay you a visit during the holiday season. That's
Especially New Year's Eve.
Okay, that's the first thing. The second thing is we saw her take the girl to the kitchen, and then we never saw her again.
So she's dead.
Right? We never saw her. She's not dead, but we never saw her again. The next thing we see is Sam sitting in the living room with Jason coming in going, how did it go? And she's having a nervous breakdown saying, I would have liked to have seen the scene with the parole officer where she said that to Sam. Like, I would have liked to have seen that scene play out. Instead, we're getting all this secondhand information from Sam.
And the speculation being that she is trying to get to Jason through all of this. I mean, I guess we can infer that given Jason's past, but it still would be interesting just to see, does this woman have an agenda, or is she just being a real stickler for the rules?
Yeah. First of all, she black. So how's she going to have an agenda when it comes to Jason and Sonny? Usually anybody that has an agenda when it comes to Jason and Sonny is not a black person. The black people are always working with Jason and Sonny. Think about it. Whenever there is a black person on the show, they are always working with Jason and Sonny.
That's true.
Trina's working with Jason and Sonny. Donnell Turner, Curtis is working with Jason and Sonny.
Jordan isn't. I mean, she'll work alongside when it's convenient.
She's had her moments with Sonny, though.
Yeah.
I'm just saying. She ain't working against him. I'm just saying. I was like, the black people are like, yo, Sonny. But I was like, so really, you gonna concoct this thing that the parole officer, okay,
Yeah,
or the social worker, whatever she is.
Yes, like the parole officer, and now it's, I think, 2 years that they can't be around each other unless the lawyers are present and it is involving their kids.
It's bananas. And then I hated when Jason left and Diane was like, "Are you okay?" And he was like, "No," which was huge for Jason because usually Jason's like, "Yeah, I'm fine. Don't worry about it, Diane." And he was like, "No, I'm not," and walked off.
Yeah, what I do like though is that I don't know if he would be like that around many people, but I feel like Diane.
Yeah, Diane's like family, so
Yeah.
yeah, they would be that way around her.
Yeah, I mean, you're right, Carla. I care so little about the J-Sam relationship that I'm just like,
I'm invested.
oh, that now
As
we got
we
to
all
deal
know.
with this melodrama for a couple, however long that decided to drag this out.
Oh, it won't be dragged out for long. But
But the fact that even Sam was considering, like, oh, we will sneak around. For as
I was
miserable
like,
as she was.
I was like, have you lost the last bit of good sense you got left? Like, this is parole. They will throw your ass back in jail and lock away the key and snatch your kids. They won't care that Jason is their dad and Drew is Scout's dad and he's dead. Child, please. She was really not thinking that through.
Yeah, I don't know what you thought. Like, you were so miserable being away from your kids that you would just tempt it like that. Like, what? Have you learned nothing?
She was conflicted. She was conflicted like a mug. I'm like, okay, well, I don't know. That would not be the smartest thing to do. And I'm glad that somebody was the voice of reason in that situation and said, yeah, you might not want to do that because of yada, yada, yada. So,
Yeah.
yeah.
I mean, I did like Diane. Just all it takes is one time.
Yep.
One time, and that's it.
Yep.
And finally, Jason speaking to what I think many people have talked about before. It's like, you're not in your old lives. You've got kids now, other responsibilities. You
Yep.
can't just think about each other.
Yep. Oh, Michael B is in the chat room and Dolores Leach. Welcome, y'all. And Daisy Flower 40.
Hey.
They're always there. They're talking about, oh, yeah, they were talking about that. And then somebody's talking about Gia. His sister Gia didn't care. And then somebody says that we should bring back Brenda first. Yeah, Brenda ain't coming back.
No, I'm good without Brenda.
Brenda ain't never coming back.
At this point, I just don't know what you would do with Brenda. You would have to, because it's...
Well, when she came back the last time, it kind of fell flat. Don't you think?
Because, I mean...
Like, there was all this build up to her being there, and then she came, and it was like, oh, okay.
Because I just think you've put Carly and Sonny in such a position that you can't... I would not... I don't know how the rest of the fan base, but personally, it's like, I don't want to see them being split up for Brenda and that storyline. I just have zero interest.
Yeah,
we've seen that too many times.
We've done that already.
And I don't need to see her with Jax either, because I've seen that too many times. So I would need something fresh.
We've done that already. I want Jax to hook up with Nina.
I think everybody wants that.
I've been saying that for months. Like, ever since he met her at the nurses ball, I'm like, oh, they gonna hook up. Something gonna happen with them.
They're gonna be getting busy.
They gonna be getting busy. I thought for sure that they would hook up at some point, and she's been really good about not going there. Like, she's really showing some constraint when it comes to that situation.
But when she went over to the house and her and at Jax's place, and they were talking, and Nina was like, I mean, is there someone else that I should be? And Jax is like, I don't want to say anything, but
you know what else I loved about the last couple of weeks? There was a lot of explanation going on. Like, if you were somebody that had never seen General Hospital and was wondering how all these relationships are taking shape, there was that explanation about Michael confiding in Sasha about the history between him and AJ and Sonny and Carly, and how he took Avery for a little while just to piss Sonny off. There was another relationship where Brooke goes down memory lane with Julian about Olivia and Leo. Like, they were breaking down some Port Charles history between the relationships, which I thought was kind of cool.
But that scene was so weird to me, because they have that scene where she's talking with Julian,
right?
Talking about, like, oh yeah, Olivia and Leo, I've got photos from back then.
Right.
I was watching them while they were, keeping them hidden from you. And then it's like it genuinely seems like a nice moment between the two of them.
Mm-hmm.
And then at the end, she just turns it, and then you thought I was a prostitute, and then blah, 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 and then stomps away. I'm like,
but that's what she does in every scene. Haven't you noticed that? Like, she'll be in a scene with somebody, and it'll be free-flowing, and then all of a sudden, toward the end of the scene, she'll have a moment and go stomping off. Like, that's just her. Like, for example, the scene in the Metro, I think it's the Metro Court, where she begs her father to help her get out of this contract, and he's like, it's ironclad. I'm sorry, Brookie, I can't help you. You know, you made your bed, you have to lie. And she's like, can't you just do it this one time? And he was like, no. And up until that moment, they were laughing and talking and, about ready to toast in the new year. And then she went stomping off. Every scene she's in, it starts out okay, and then at some point she stomps off. Happened when she talked to Lulu too.
What did you think of Ned's response?
I thought that was great, that he was like, yeah, we have money, and yeah, I could do this, but I'm not going to. Because she got to learn. She's spoiled. She is the brattiest of brats.
And it's, I mean, just like, well, can it be just this once and then we draw the hard line?
Nope, it can't be.
And I liked Olivia saying, she goes, I think it fell on deaf ears.
Yep.
Because and just really just reiterating, like, she is most like your mom. And your mom would not listen to that.
Nope.
And she would just try. She's only going to make it worse for herself.
Yep.
Trying to get out of it.
But I love how they said that, and then they brought Jane Elliott in as Tracy Quartermaine, and then you could see for yourself just how much this young lady playing Brooklyn has made the character very much like Jane Elliott. And I don't think that was on purpose. Like, they just cast the perfect person for the part, because she is very much like Jane Elliott. But I love how when she called her granny, and she was And she was like, it's Tracy.
Yeah, it's Tracy. No. Just call me. And it
Like,
went a few
Randy,
times.
what are you doing here? And it happened a few times. And she
Yep.
had that look on her face like, am I going to have to punch you in your throat?
It's just call me Tracy, please. Just I beg you, please, just call me Tracy. But what I did like though is I just like that nice moment between Ned and Olivia, where it's just like, yes, I've said this many times, and I'm sure I'll say it many, many more times, that it's just, man, it's nice to have Ned around on a regular basis. And, it'd be great if GH would just wise up and say, this is some great stuff. If you're going to redecorate the Quartermaine's home, that shows that you're planning on being there for a while. You're going to be seeing that area a lot.
Yeah.
So let's just lock down Wally Kurth on a contract and do some stuff.
You have been saying that for weeks. Oh,
because even Michael's saying, like, I'm predicting, like, it looks like we're getting ready for some Quartermaine conflict. So I'm like, yes.
It's about to go down. It is about to go down. You know what else tickled me was Nell out in that hospital lobby trying to dupe Willow to giving her Wiley.
Oh, boy.
And then Michael came swooping in like a bald eagle.
I don't know what it is about prison guards in Port Charles, where
They're so lax. Like, where are they?
They're always staying far away.
But why was the prison guard not standing with her?
Yeah.
Why was she able to have that whole conversation long enough with Nell for Nell to go, here, let me take the baby? I'm like, I can't.
Like, any prison guard would have shut that down as soon as the baby started moving. Like, no, we got to cut this off. Nope, just like, I was watching from over here.
Oh my God, it's pure comedy. You were going to give us some news, right?
Yeah, we got some news as we're getting ready to wrap up real quick.
AfterBuzz TV News.
It seems like kind of a little sour bit of news here to start off the new year.
Oh,
is
what?
good old Kimberly McCullough, plays Robin Scorpio on the
Yeah.
show, has announced that she is retired from acting.
Well, I pretty much guessed that because she hasn't done it for quite some time.
I mean, she'd pop on to GH every so often, but I mean, she's been more focused on a directing career, having her family.
She's a wonderful photographer too.
Yeah, so I mean, while we wish her all success in her new endeavors, I mean,
We'll miss her.
Yeah, it definitely is a shame, and who knows if it's retired from acting, but if GH calls out for like a little sweet little bit that she wouldn't just pop in to do something. I don't know. Well, I guess we'll have to find out.
I'm sure if it was major enough, she would pop in because we wouldn't know who she was if it weren't for GH. She'd been there since she was a child. Let's give a shout out to James Lott Jr.
Is he in the chat?
He's in the chat room.
Holy cow. Papa James breaking it down.
What else were you going to say? I'm sorry.
Oh, yeah. So, I mean, it is, Jane Elliott certainly left and she was retiring from acting. Anthony Geary's left because he was retiring from acting.
But we ain't seen him, and we won't.
No, I mean, we saw him for a hot second on Jane Elliott's last show. But Jane's come back now for this, so you never know if the story warrants it. Some pivotal thing that maybe we can get Kimberly McCullough to pop in for a little bit.
I'd love that. I like her.
So, folks, that's going to do it for this episode of the GH Report. So much to talk about in so little time, but, we've got 52 more weeks of this ahead of us. So
52 more weeks left in the year.
Or actually 51 at this point because we're in our first weekend. So yes,
is true.
So 51 more weeks. So folks, we're going to be doing it, and we hope you are here every week to join us. But in the meantime, like us on Facebook, give us 5 stars on iTunes, subscribe to the YouTube channel, give us a thumbs up while you're there. Give James Lott Jr. a thumbs up. He always deserves a thumbs up no matter where he's at. But if you want to stay in touch with either Carla or myself, even after the show's over, Carla, where can they find you?
You can find me across all social media platforms at The Curvy Critic. You can also find me over at Black Hollywood Live doing The Curvy Critic with Carla Renato on Sundays right before the GH Report. And on Thursday nights, we have a brand new superstore on NBC coming your way.
Oh, look at this. 2020 is the year of Carla Renato. I mean, that,
No, it's
that
not.
empire is just big.
Yeah, he says that every week.
And it has increased, folks. I see all this off-camera stuff that Carla and I do. It is just success. All this great stuff for her. So yes, 2020 is the year for Carla. Follow me on Twitter and Instagram at HappyGoJackie. Folks, that's going to do it for this episode of the GH Report. We'll be right back here next Sunday with an all-new episode right here on AfterBuzz TV. Peace.
Our founder, Kevin Undergaro, and me, Maria Menounos, would like to thank you for tuning in to AfterBuzz TV. Remember, we're not just the first, we're the biggest in the world, and we're the only destination for all your favorite TV shows. Whatever you crave, we've got it. So go to AfterBuzzTV.com and check out our lineup. Buzz you later.
The views expressed herein are those of the hosts only and do not necessarily reflect the views of AfterBuzz TV or its owners or principals.